All right, we can get started if you're ready.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys ready? Okay, cool. Why don't we start with just like introducing yourselves and telling us what you do for a living.
So my name's Esmeralda. I'm a delivery driver for UPS.
Yeah,
And my name's Kevin, and same thing. Been with UPS
Awesome.
for quite a while now.
cool, man. Very cool. How did you guys get started? Or like,
I started actually.
Go
Sorry.
ahead. No, what were
I
you doing?
started
You're good. It's super easy, super lighthearted. Don't worry about stepping on each other's toes. It'll probably happen a couple of times. So tell me what you were doing right before. I'll start with you, Esmeralda. Tell me what you were doing like right before you started with UPS.
I tried I guess retail, and I felt stuck there. So I kind of just wanted to try something different. I went to UPS, started off in the warehouse, and shortly after that, about a couple months in, I started helping a driver running packages, and I fell in love. So I just wanted to become a driver, and here I am, and it's the best. I really enjoy what I do.
You do. That's awesome. What about you, Kev?
Well, I was actually doing it while I was in college, in high school, and then college. And then I wanted to actually be a state police, and I joined the academy. And when I turned 21, UPS asked me if I wanted to drive, so I kind of just stuck with it.
All right, right on, man. Very cool. What was the draw? Why were you guys like, oh, it was like benefits or time off? I know that a lot of these companies will they'll kind of entice the wave some benefits or some vacation time at you to kind of make it a little more appealing. What was the draw to want to make the
For
move?
me, for
Yeah.
me, it was because I wanted to be a state police, and I didn't have to work graveyards, and then I didn't have to work weekends. That was the big thing. They pay really good, and they have really good benefits too. So it kind of really hooked me.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, definitely the same. The benefits are really amazing. Can't really get that anywhere else, and the pay, oh my gosh, it's extraordinary, for what we do. So it's good.
Yeah. And Esmeralda, you're like one of the only female UPS
Yes.
personnel.
No, I mean, there's been a couple female drivers, but they kind of just don't stick around. I will say it's a tough job. It's hard being out there, especially in the dark. You have some like really heavy boxes and no help, and it's a little stressful sometimes. But I get through it, and it helps knowing that like I'm the only one, and I've stuck through it, and it just keeps me coming back.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the schedule like? Like, what do they give you guys schedule wise as far as like to get work completed? Do you get like a printout? Like, okay, you've got X amount of packages and you've got this much time to get it done between this time and this time. What does that look like? Like when you step in for the day?
So we show up when you first get there. They have a couple computer screen monitors, and you can click on your route ID. Well, if you don't have a route, you see where you are. Then you click on it, and it'll show you how many stops, where you're going. And they usually stop close to 9:15 is when we leave, so you can see more or less where you're gonna go and how much you're gonna be out there. It'll tell you like what time you should start your first stop, and around what time you should finish your last stop. And in a perfect world, you'll know what time you'll be done. But
Yeah.
it really doesn't work like that here.
It's always different every
Yeah.
night. It's like, different things can happen, traffic, it just, you name it, it happens out there. And so it's different every night on what time you'll get done. You finish when you finish,
Yeah.
basically.
But we
Really?
start at 9:15, and we just work till you're done. And an average day is probably about 6:30 or 7.
Uh-huh. Okay. So if it goes over, you get overtime for that. Like if you end up,
So we get overtime after 8 hours each day.
okay, that's good. And how common is that? Does that happen all the time?
Pretty common.
Yeah.
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 That's good. I mean, it's good that you get compensated for it. It's probably not good whenever it's like, I'll be done at 6:30 and then, 7 rolls around, 8 o'clock, and you still got
Oh
a couple
yeah.
of messages.
Well, the best part about it with us is we like know what we go through, and we're usually both working about the same time. So it's not as bad as some people that work with us that have families, kids, because they have somebody waiting for them at home constantly. Us, we're both out there, not really worrying about each
It's
other.
like, are we gonna cook dinner or are we gonna grab
Yeah.
something? So kind of
Yeah,
work together like that.
I see drawing a parallel here between like I was in the like service industry for several years, and a lot of people in the service industry will just date people in the service industry because of this exact same reason. Like there's just if you're working on the weekends and the holidays, at least you're working like with your significant other, even if it's not the same restaurant. Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And same like late hours, like you're both getting off at 3, 4 a.m. if you're bartending. And it just, I don't know, it seems to work out that way. Do you see that in like the delivery driver um world? Like a lot of people, you said that your relationship thrives. It can't be the only one. I'm sure there's other people out there that
We've heard of it on like Facebook groups, for
uh,
UPS. There's a lot of couples, driver couples, things like that. So we do see that pretty often. Of course, in my center, I'm the only female driver, but
Yeah, before she got there, there was another married couple, and
yeah,
there's a lot of part timers too that you see that date, but this we're the only, I guess, serious couple I've seen for a while now. But it does happen, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. We
yeah, I
even had a
imagine.
supervisor that ended up marrying a driver, and she ended up resigning, and they've been together for a few years now.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I think that does kind of make our relationship thrive a little bit more just because we know what each other goes through and we're there to help each other. So yeah, I think that definitely helps being in the
Yeah, it
same
could be
industry.
for sure. I'm sure it could be like a tough life for somebody that's, that maybe is working like retail, for instance, to date somebody in the, like a driver, for instance, that doesn't know like, "Oh, dinner's at 6." Like, oh, well, I might be able to be done at 6, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Where
I'll try.
yeah.
Yeah.
what's like the word? Have you guys ever been like yelled at for I see this constantly, yelled at for like maybe parking in a place that's not technically a parking spot, even though you're just like gonna run out and throw, like, even though it's like a couple of seconds.
Yeah, it does happen. I got um called off and a note left on my truck parking in front of Domino's Pizza once. Yeah, because I was blocking their Domino's sign. But yeah, it does happen. That was the worst one for a business, but it's almost an everyday thing where somebody's upset with us parking somewhere.
Yeah.
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 It's hard to find somewhere to park those big trucks.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I always kind of laugh because I see people like, "Come on, that's not a bucket," like yelling. I'm like, these guys are on a time crunch. They want to get done. I promise it's going to take. I
Yeah.
promise these guys are in more of a hurry than you are. I swear.
Yeah. It's like
I
you're
think that's
holding us up by yelling at us. It's like just let us go do it and we're out of your way, promise.
Yeah, I had one probably a few weeks ago where the guy came to my truck, started telling me I was parked, need to get out of the way, and he kept going on and until I'm like, sir, you realize I would have been done and gone if you would have just let me do my job. This is taking longer than it would for me just to get in and out. And just
yeah,
walked back and got in his truck and yeah,
I
nothing
know.
happened after that. Yeah, it just blows me away. But that happens. Yeah.
I don't know why people think that you're just like on your lunch break. Like, oh, these guys are just they just pulled
Yeah.
over in the middle of the street where there's no parking at all. And they're probably just hanging out on their phone, like
Yeah.
watching TikTok videos or something. Do you guys carry, I want to talk about dogs a little bit. Do you guys carry treats on you? What is your relationship with people's dogs?
Oh, I have my favorites. There's dogs that'll pass their street and I'll be at the stop sign, I'll honk a little bit and then they'll come running down. They're like, "Hey, there she is. Where's my treat?" So you do have your favorites.
Yeah.
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 I have
And then
one
I'm
a little Jack Russell. I have to back up to their gate and he can get under the gate. And before you know it, he's on my dashboard running back and forth trying to find the treats to eat it. Yeah. But yeah, I
classic.
carry treats, a little sack of them. And yeah, definitely always try to, even the mean ones, try to give them the treats. So hopefully, in one day, if they ever get out, they're going to remember me.
Yeah. Yeah. That guy's my homie. He's not.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that as a dog owner, and yeah, I don't know. I think it also helps train dogs that maybe wouldn't be so receptive to having a strange vehicle pull up to their house. It kind of like changes their behavior. Like, oh, I'm gonna get a treat as opposed to
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, especially a very loud truck.
Yeah.
Some dogs are afraid of it, but then you like kind of get to know them and they're like, oh, okay, that's not so bad. I know the person inside.
yeah,
Sometimes I remember the dog's name before I remember the owner's name.
Yeah. There's the biggest downside to that is we both come home and then we smell like 20, 30 dogs. And our
Yeah.
dog comes up to us and sniffs us and just looks at us like we're whores.
what the
Yeah.
hell? Yeah,
Where have you been?
exactly. Yeah, I want to go. I want to go with you to work every day, and you're out there playing with other dogs. That's bullshit. Um, what do you guys get in trouble for typically? Like as out on the field, like, do you get in trouble for, I don't know, I'm sure people complain left and right about like, oh, my package didn't show that it got stolen. What are
So
some, yeah, go
we
ahead.
don't get too much trouble for that. Stuff does get stolen. My old route, there was more crime than what should be, so stuff would get stolen quite often. So we don't get into too much trouble for that. Things we get in trouble for, like with our supervisors, mostly is like time. They watch our time, so like they can see how long you're at a stop, so they know if you're there playing with the dogs or you're just in and out delivering a package. And that's pretty much the big thing that they watch with us. They want us to be safe, and they tell us we get paid by the minute, so they want us to be working every minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either our feet need to be moving or our wheels need to be moving is what they say.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
That's the
How do you,
big thing. But yeah, things end up missing. It's sad. My old route, I delivered a box. Well, it was a white Amazon type bag. I drove around the block and it was a pair of Nike shoes. The box and the bag was in the middle of the median by the time I drove around the street. It was just insane. And the sad thing was it was the FedEx guy's shoes. So he was all bummed out, and there's nothing really we can do about that. It sucks. There's just
Man.
people like that.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do our best to take it to the front door and hide it. But yeah, there's people always watching. And then they see
Sure.
that truck and they're like, oh, they're dropping something off. So let me go behind them.
yeah. Have you ever noticed anybody following you to like
Yes.
try and
Oh,
really?
yeah.
Wow.
So they sent me out to Albuquerque and to go help and deliver out there. And no, I saw a car, it was following me. And so I let some homeowners know and they kind of followed up. They called the police and stuff like that. And no, they followed them to a house. And sure enough, there was tons of packages that they were just taking to this one house and dropping off. And it's crazy. They're called porch pirates. And it's ridiculous.
Wow. How do you call I mean, outside of calling the homeowner, I think that's a good like first defense. Do you call the police and say, hey, I've got like a suspicious car that's been tailing me for a couple of neighborhoods, or?
You can. I just like to get in touch with the homeowners because they're more familiar with what cars are usually there and around the area. And so they'll know if it's suspicious more than I would.
And then
Yeah.
it sucks, but there's not enough police here to even respond. So I've called the police a few times, and now my new route, it's way, way far out. So there's nothing you can really do. I actually busted people breaking into a house a few months ago, and I kind of handled it myself. And I knew the cars that lived there. I don't know the people, and I started asking them, will you take this for me? Like, well, we kind of don't live here. And it's like, okay, well, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
We thought it's a bed and breakfast. I was like, it's not. Should I call the sheriff? No, we're good. We're leaving. But
Good, man. Nice.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
right on.
it's sad not having somebody to be able to respond. So we just gotta kind of take care of it ourselves as much as we can. Yeah.
Yeah. What does lunch look like for you guys? Like in the middle of the it's like I'm assuming you've got to just like bring a lunch. There's no, is that a reality,
Well,
or do you have time
my
to
old
kind of?
route had a bunch of like restaurants, fast food, sit down, so I could actually eat. I'd take a lunch, and maybe sometimes I would stop and eat somewhere. Now there's nothing out there, so I pretty much have to take something with me.
Yeah.
And if not, I just take a lunch at the end of the day and stop on my way in, get
Yeah.
something to eat if it's not too late. Yeah.
Especially with the sun, I guess the sunset so early now, you just kind of want to get done because nobody wants
Uh,
to be out in the dark. That's tough. So kind of just work through it, stop for your lunch, eat a snack and keep going.
yeah. Yeah. Good on you. That's great. How do you guys unwind after like just being like go, 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 go? If your wheels aren't moving and your feet need to be moving, go, go, and then you get home, like how do you shift like gear down so that you're like not, or does this translate to the house? Like, okay, we gotta clean this, I gotta mop the floor while I'm doing the dishes.
So
Gosh.
I'm like that because I work different things, so I'm constantly going. But the easiest thing for me to wind dog, it's usually my dog. So yeah, just
Yeah.
playing with him can kind of calm me down and let me relax a little bit. Yeah, that's
Or
the easiest.
Yeah, he's always so excited to see us when we get home, and then he's just jumping around, and then he starts to kind of like mellow out after we've been there for a while.
yeah, yeah, that's great. Let's see. Do you guys tell me about like protocol for like gated communities or gated houses? I've seen I've seen people just chuck a package over, which I
Oh yeah.
totally get. Not so much like Ace Ventura Pet Detective style. I don't know if you guys ever saw that movie from
Yeah.
the 90s. Okay. Where he's just like completely playing soccer with this package and completely like being disrespectful with the thing. Um, but I've seen people just like ugh, like go over the you don't know what's in there, like you don't know if there's a dog in there or and it seems safe behind the wall. Is that what's the protocol, like what do you guys, are you told like you should just throw it over the gate or check to see if it's unlocked first, or what's the standard procedure?
So it depends. Every gate's different. A lot of the gate codes are programmed into our boards from the homeowners. So we can get in through there. There's some that we don't have, and we have to go through the keypad for communities to try to get let in. Um, I have a lot of gates. Almost everybody either gives me a gate opener or a code, and I have the few rare people that don't want me to know their code, so I just leave it in front of their gate. And that's for a house, really not for a community. And
Yeah. Okay.
that's what we do. A lot of them actually have like these storage bins that you open up and put the stuff in and lock it up right in front of their gate because they don't want you in there. Mostly because a lot of them have dogs that they don't want to get out, or cows or horses, goats. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything in their property. Yeah.
So typically they'll give you like you've got like an iPad or something, I imagine, that's got like all the codes. If you're gonna get sent to like a gated community, let's say,
So it's
the
called
codes.
a dyad, and I forgot what it stands for, but it's kind of a board that's maybe about 10 inches long and about 4 inches wide, and that has everything we scan with. And when you scan the package, it'll actually prompt you with the code saying this is the gate code, or it'll give you
Cool.
other warnings like mean dog or
Oh,
stuff like that. Yeah, so there's all kinds of notes you
Yeah.
can put in there.
cool, man.
You
Yeah.
know,
So you guys, go ahead.
oh, sorry.
I was just gonna add to that. Please go ahead. I didn't mean to
It's
interrupt.
just area knowledge
Yeah.
is a big thing, and then talking to drivers that have done that area and been there. So you usually call them and be like, hey, what's the gate code to this place? And they can usually get you in contact with somebody who's done that area or knows that area. So yeah, area knowledge is pretty important.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. And you guys can put notes in there yourself, like, oh, this is a mean dog, for instance, or
Usually management puts it in for us, but yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
it's the mean dogs. I mean, there's always those customers where they don't want you on the property, so you put notes for that, like stay off their driveway because there's people that have cobblestone driveways, and it's just random stuff like that you can put in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Are bins
it
like the
helps.
best? I'm sorry. It
Oh no,
helps
no,
a
I
lot.
just think it helps. Yeah.
Are bins like the best way to go? Should more people have like
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's so helpful.
It
And
really
it keeps
is.
it away from the elements, snow, rain, sun even. So things like that. I think that's like usually like the way to go. And I'll try and get customers to kind of get on board with doing that.
Yeah, I've even bought some bins for some people in my area because we can't. I can't get like to their house. Their driveway's so long and so messed up, and we just, talk to them that they can't afford a bin, or they don't know where to get a bin, so we'll get one and drop it off and use that, and it's easier for them in their Subaru to get to the bin versus me to get to their house in a UPS truck.
Yeah.
But
Do you pay
it's
for
the
that
best way. Mostly, yeah.
out of your own pocket?
Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
too expensive. Yeah, you can usually find them for like $4 or $5. So it's not too
Oh,
bad.
okay. Right
And it
Yeah.
on,
helps
man.
us in the long run. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. I get that. Okay, cool, man. Very cool. That's awesome. What about houses without numbers?
I was just gonna think about ask you about that. It's nice when you have visible numbers, or like even like if you have a long driveway, put it at the bottom of your driveway. Um, Trees are a big thing for us. When they're not like they're too overgrown over the road, that makes it hard for us because our trucks are like 10.5 feet. And so that makes the biggest difference in just numbers being visible to the road, all that stuff.
Our boards have GPS. They don't always work all the time, but still having your numbers marked, it helps, because you'll see us out there sometimes with our flashlights at 8 o'clock at night trying to figure out what house is what. And then we get to the door and tell them, did you know you don't have numbers? Well, yeah, I don't want nobody to know where I live. That's usually the number one response we get. Yeah.
including USPS and
Yeah.
like UPS
Yeah.
and FedEx. You don't want to, okay, man, I'll keep your blender or whatever, know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they want their package.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had a weird one Friday. I was delivering to this house for quite a while now, and it's number 17. And I had a number 18, and I drove and I couldn't find 18. I found, or no, I'm sorry. Yeah, always 17. And the box said 17. So I pulled and there's 18 and 22, and I couldn't figure it out. So finally I asked the neighbors, I was like, where's 17? Like the house you go to every day. I was like, no, it says 18. So they're like, I swear it is. So I went back and talked to the lady, and she said then the day before the fire department came and changed her from 17 to 18. I was like, just blowing my mind, because I swear it was a different number. And yeah, so
That's
weird
crazy.
things happen. At least they had their numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My street is so messed up, man. It's like 11, then it goes to like 48, and then it goes to 9, and then it goes and I will go ahead and raise my hand and say I'm a part of this. One of the reasons it's so messed up is because the person selling my house was in another country, and they had a third party come in and like do everything. So when I came to see it, it said 46. But what had happened was there's 3B and 4B. So they like divided the property out.
Oh yeah.
And so it looked like 4 lowercase b, but it was but on my paperwork that I signed, like when I signed my mortgage to like start that for the bank, everything, all this was 46. Like they had changed, they had misinterpreted it. So now I pay a mortgage to 46 Blue Jay Way.
Oh wow.
And if you're driving up, and I'm not the only, a lot of houses are screwed up. Like a lot of it, like I
Oh
said,
my
it'll
God,
start
yeah.
11 and then it'll go to like 96 and then drop back
Mm.
down to like the 60s. Do you guys run into that a lot? I figured I'd give you a little.
It's so common in Santa Fe, New Mexico, I guess, in
Yeah,
general.
New Mexico in general.
It's common because, there'll be houses here and then they'll just throw another one in the back. And you just, like I said, area knowledge, you got to know these things. And yeah, it's pretty outrageous.
I have one house that has 4 addresses. It's the same house, but they have 4 addresses.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense to me. And I was actually talking to the postal guy about it, and he's like, oh, I can't stand them. They just need to get their stuff straight. And it's like, just learn, it takes a while. You just got to learn and take
Yeah.
it to them. Nice people. It's just post office gave them an address, county gave them an address, then the county changed their address, and then the county changed their address again. And then this guy, his property's so big, he's on 2 streets. So
Oh,
he
yeah.
has addresses for both streets. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny. Yeah. Once you learn it, they're happy you just get it. That's basically what it is with them.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of roads out here aren't paved also. Like, do you guys run into issues getting stuck? Like what happens?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
About 90% of my route is nothing but unpaved roads, dirt
Oh,
roads. But now you just kind of gotta learn them, and in the winter, just kind of stay in the middle of the road if you can. Um, that's
yeah,
the key.
I kind of
totally.
don't take chances no more. I haven't been stuck for a long time, like knock on wood.
Uh-huh.
So communities I deliver to actually even started like a Facebook group just for me and the people who live there.
That's
So
great.
when the weather gets bad, I'll post, okay, I have all this stuff for this area. Can you meet me? And if even one person meets me, they'll take the packages for the whole street and they'll go and deliver it. But I mean, they'll meet me in like a big 4-wheel drive, like Jeep or truck or something,
Yeah.
versus us in our little package car that only one tire spins. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you guys in charge of washing the like your vehicle? Do you have to keep up with that?
No, but they have car washers, but they don't really clean the inside. So we clean like the cab of it. They spray out the cargo area, but
Yeah.
the cab area they don't clean, and we usually clean that ourselves, both of us. It takes a while, but
Yeah, I was gonna
it's
say.
so much better. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
I was gonna.
dusty and gross.
That's right. Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I know, like we were talking about before. There's a lot of unpaved roads. I'm sure a lot of that dust gets kicked up and then
Yeah.
it just cycles back in the back. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
sometimes those packages get pretty. They can get kind of dirty. I'm sure you guys have to deal with that first and foremost. I talked to a person that works for USPS, and he just handles envelopes, just envelopes only. And he's like, you'd be shocked at how dirty those envelopes are. Like
It-
going in a
Yeah.
dusty mailbox, going in a bin, going in, down an assembly line. Do you guys run into the same thing? I'm sure all the time with
yes,
like,
but worse. So
yeah, worse.
UPS came up with this awesome new, I guess you call it technology, because it gets too hot in the back of the package car. They put, it's like we call it a whirly bird. I don't know what it is, but it's a white thing on the top of the back that spins and sucks air in to cool down the cargo area. No one tested that on a dirt road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it sucks dirt in. And as soon as you stop and open the door, it's like, it reminds me of that movie, The Mummy, that it's just solid dirt coming out of the door, like just trying to eat everything in sight.
Yeah.
Yeah. This last week, you really would have laughed. I actually got so tired of the dust, I got out and got the tape gun and taped every single door crack in the back and my driver door. So I could only open one door to get in and out, but that helped. It tamed a lot of the dust. And it comes out of our nose, our mouth, our ears. Yeah, it's gross. My route's all dirt,
Yeah.
all dirt.
So I have gloves on pretty much all day just because it's so dirty. And then we just shower as soon as we get home.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Yeah, I imagine you just like take the. I'm sure you're so thankful that a uniform is brown.
Yeah.
Truck is brown. Yeah. But yeah, I could see that. Like just don't even just like a mud room, for people that are out in the
Yeah.
snow. Just like take off all your snow stuff right here and then, jump in the
Yeah.
shower. Do you guys have the kind of the similar setup like UPS clothes, just drop them at the door and
I
jump in the
actually blow
shower?
myself off with the air compressor first.
Good move.
I'll do
Yeah.
that. And then at work, I take a little bird bath and I'll wash my arms and wash my legs and wash my face. And so by the time I get home, I can at least like sit on furniture and not have to worry about it. So it's
Yeah.
not as bad, but that's how I get it done. The best part about this, everybody lives there. So I can deliver a box where you can't even see the label. You have to wipe off just to scan it. And they're all used to it. They moved out there, they know what they got into. And the ones that just moved there from California, they're freaking out and want me to clean their box before they deliver it. And it takes a while before they realize that it's not going to happen.
What do you guys what's your response whenever you see a fragile sticker? Is it like I just don't have time I try and be careful with all the packages so it doesn't matter one way or the other? Or do you actually like, okay, that's fragile, there must be glass or something in it. So I gotta make sure that one's, tucked away nice and neat.
Well, I assume that everything's like fragile. Usually you'll get like an Amazon box and they won't have that sticker, but you'll kind of like grab it and put it in your arms and get out of the truck, and then you'll hear things broken. And so I
Yeah.
just tell customers, like, I'm sorry, is like, it was like this when I got it, you know, not much we can do about that. But like just going down the assembly line, you know, it just, things happen. A heavier box is put on top of it, so it breaks the contents inside, and like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And
Can you guys?
I was told by one of the meanest but best supervisors we had, and literally yelled at me and said, treat every box as if it was your grandma's ashes. And that stuck with me for 17 years now. And I try to do that. And it's funny, I told the customer that I do a pickup, she ships glass light fixtures. So I told her, I was like, let me come back later and get it. And she was getting like pissed off at me. And I told her, well, I go down really bad boats, so let me get you last on the way in. Show me, I just need to learn how to drive better. Like, okay, I'll take your stuff now then. Yeah.
Can you guys tell me a little bit about what, before a package gets to a truck, like what that package goes through? Like, let's say somebody orders something from Amazon. Can you just take me like from step one to from me ordering online to it actually showing up on my doorstep? What does that go through before it gets to me?
So if you order like something really, really big, or not really big, from a really big company, like I've seen like John Deere, or there's a place called BTI out here, they'll park a semi, UPS semi, and they'll load it up. If you order from something else, like a smaller shop, a UPS truck, like one of us will actually go over there, stop, tell the customer hi, pick up the boxes. We have to go into our board, how many boxes we pick up, then we load them in. Depending on what time of day it is, sometimes they go for us all day long, sometimes it's the last thing of the day, and then back to the center. Then they have a crew, local sort, they'll unload it onto the belt. They'll have somebody load it into a semi, and then it goes to Albuquerque, and those hubs will take it out of that semi, put it into another semi, and it'll either go off to another hub or it'll go off to the next destination and go in from the semi to the belt to the package car to you. It
So
just
a
depends
lot
on
of,
how far away, how many hubs it's going to go through.
Touches a lot of hands.
A lot of hands.
wow. So a lot of, and forklifts, I'm sure, like forklifts coming in, is that,
No.
no?
No, it basically just goes down the belt to whatever truck or state it's going to, and then it kind of just loads, somebody grabs it and loads it into the semi, you know, get it ready to go to the next place.
I gotcha. Okay, cool. How much, how, how many, like, I don't know. This is a completely, okay, I'll just ask you the question. How much do you guys think that like drugs are being like
Shipped?
shipped? Yeah. I've
Yep.
talked to a guy that works for UPS, and he's like, I'm pretty sure I've shipped a lot of weed. Like, it's not my place to, you know, kind of intervene or whatever. I just kind of just sort of look but I have a feeling that do you guys feel
I've
that
had
way
2
at all?
boxes of weed before.
Yeah.
And it's funny. One of them was at the UPS store. So that one, they called the police went over there, dealt with it. The second one, so they were shipping it from Santa Fe out. I was delivering it kind of by Capitol High School, and it was a really hot day. And once it was about 2 o'clock, the whole truck just smelled like weed.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
figured out which box it was, called the supervisors. Supervisors came and got it, called the police, and the police showed up, and there's a box with weed. And the cops told the center manager, what do you want me to do with it? And our center manager, he was an asshole. He looked at him and said, your job, do your fucking job. But yeah, so it does happen. And
Yeah.
I mean, I have had a really kind of drug dealer, I guess you could say, that was on my route. And I told him some stuff was happening around his packages, and he gave me a key to his gate and a key to his pool room. And every time I delivered, there would be like $100 bill and a bottle of liquor waiting for me. It was
Hey,
just
nice, man.
simple Amazon box, little things, but they took care of me. It's none of my business what he does.
That's
It's
right.
just there's people watching him, that not cops, but other people that were trying to get his whatever it was. And it's none of my business, I guess. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we have no idea what's in boxes. We just take them to the address and drop them off. We have way
Yeah.
too many to even wonder what's in there.
Yeah. Yeah. If they do a
Whatever.
good job of concealing it and keeping it under wraps, then I suppose you don't have a problem. But like you said, if it's a
Right.
hot day and the whole truck smells like weed, then maybe you might have to intervene a little bit then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about gifts, like because you mentioned that this episode's going to come out around like the first week of December, which I think is a good time to sort of take care of your delivery drivers. Tips, gifts, like what should people do to show their appreciation for the things that you do, like buying bins or going like inside of a person's house that isn't able to pick up a big package or whatever, everything that you do daily. What can people do to show their appreciations to their drivers?
I'm weird. So I don't really need anything from anybody. I don't think either of us really do, but you mentioned it earlier. The big thing they could do for us is either have your lights on or put a number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I want for Christmas.
Or sometimes like a cold water on a hot day
Oh yeah.
is always like appreciative, a snack or something. So
Sure.
things like that go a long way with us.
Yeah,
Okay.
we live right next to our mailbox cluster. So all the FedEx guys, the mail people, the UPS people know if you need something, our house is right here. This is where we live. You can get in. Even if we're not here, I can still let you in and use the bathroom, whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
That's big. A lot of places, like my route has no bathrooms. You
Yeah.
find a bush and that's it. Yeah.
You find a bush. That's how
Yeah.
you do it. Yeah. Even for you, Esmeralda, you have to obviously.
I drive around and I spot out a porta potty and I will stop and I will use it even if I don't necessarily need it, because you never know when you're going to find another one. And I primarily deliver to residences, not a lot of businesses.
Mhm.
So I don't have access unless I drive 2 or 3 miles, 4 miles to the nearest like Allsups or something to use the bathroom. So if I see a porta potty, I'm going to use it. Can't really use the bush because too many houses around. But no, it's tough out there.
Yeah,
Even for a girl.
absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure it's like a fine line between like staying hydrated and having to go to the
Yeah.
bathroom all the time, as opposed to like, okay, I'm medium hydrated. I don't want to go overboard where I'm having to stop all the time, or I'm working overtime tonight. Obviously, like taking a little time off for yourself. That's so
Right.
funny that you said that. All I want for Christmas is somebody to put lights and numbers on their house.
Yeah, that's
so good.
important. Everything else, I mean, yeah, people always take care of us, and I mean, we get the gift cards, we get cash, we get cookies and food and all that. But yeah, it's at the end, yeah, please make it easy for us. That's
Yeah.
it. Move your cars so we can use your driveway. It's awesome when you drive down a 1 mile driveway and it has a nice circle in there, and they just park their car right in the middle, and yeah,
No turn around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's got to be difficult. Funny. Do you guys let's see, as far as we're kind of at the point in the podcast right now where I sort of pass the platform to you guys. If there's like a PSA that you want to say, a message that you want to get out to people, now's the time for it. And if you got nothing, pass it right back and we'll keep moving along.
No, I think we kind of covered everything.
Yeah, that's a bit. I
Yeah.
would have definitely just said, light your damn house up and put numbers on.
Yes.
That would have been my PSA.
Or clear those trees.
Yeah.
Let us be able to go in your driveway and not have to rub against all your trees or break branches and stuff like that.
Like
Yeah.
if we scratch the truck or the mirrors hit and fold in and you just crack a mirror, they charge us with an accident. And so many accidents, and you get fired. You can lose your job over that. And I try to explain to customers, and so does she, that situation. And if you can't make it so we can access your 4 mile driveway, then we're gonna have to figure something else out, because I can't risk going in there and damaging the truck.
And it takes too long to walk that many miles.
Yeah.
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 Holy smokes. I bet you guys wish you had like a little dirt bike that like rolls out of the back so you could do.
I've thought of that so many times.
Um, how can people help this year? Like, should we buy less online, and kind of do like more of a homemade gift? Would that be helpful? Like, what does the workload look like this year as opposed to a normal year? Is it ramping up?
So
Are
we
things getting
haven't slowed down for a few years now.
yeah,
So it's almost like normal. And
feels
they
normal.
just put on so many drivers now for like Christmas time. So it's not as bad.
Okay.
So you can say my average day is say 80 stops. And for Christmas time, they'll put me on like 85 stops, but they'll put me in one smaller area. My whole area probably will have like 300 stops, but they'll condense me and put me in a smaller place. So that way,
Just
they'll-
add more drivers.
yeah, so
I
they,
see.
they actually do try to get people in. It's hard. I mean, that's the big thing. Instead of ordering less, maybe from work,
Yeah.
because they're hiring a lot of people.
Yeah,
So
no,
that-
we definitely take people in. They have people driving in their personal vehicles, delivering out of their own cars. And so that kind of helps the workload also.
Cool. Yeah. I'm sure that's
But
awesome. I mean,
no, definitely shop local if you can. Go to the store, go see what people have. Being that we work so many hours, we still make time to go to the store and get our necessities, and we're not just turning to Amazon for every little thing that we need.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you'd be amazed on the things people order. It's
Yeah.
like water, a case of Arrowhead water.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
just kind of it amazes me. And
Paper towels and tissue are a lot of things that I deliver. So it's like
Yeah.
a little box of paper towels that you get usually at the store, and I'm delivering it. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
That's so funny. I talked to somebody that I interviewed a like a personal shopper, and she was like, so many people drink like just get like a water filtration system. She was like, you it's
Yeah.
unreal how many like cases of water that I deliver to people's just their house. Like
Our
it's not that
center,
bad.
they get us like cases or pallets of water bottles, and a lot of drivers take them. Me and Kevin, we just fill up our Yetis and we
Good for
take it
you.
with us, and that's our water, and it tastes better too. It's
Yeah.
it's out of our own house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for you. That's awesome. I like that. I also carry a water bottle around just to help like so many people. Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. And there are situations where you do need like, I don't know, individual water bottles. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to completely shit on it 100%, but um, I, just to help with that, I try and fill up my own personal water bottle I refuse it. If somebody says, here's a water bottle and I'm in let's say a car dealership, have a water bottle, then I'll refuse it. And, I'll
Yeah.
have my own. Anyways, I try and refuse a water bottle
Well,
anytime that
they have like the packets of like Gatorades, things like that. And that's when I'll definitely take a water bottle, put my little packet of Gatorade in there, shake it up and drink it.
Uh-huh.
Things like that. Definitely water bottles are pretty kind of nice for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a place for them.
we're guilty right now. Same thing, because we switched to a zero water filter,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden she's like, "Why does it smell like fish?" And so we're waiting for the filters to come in from Amazon. So we're using bottled water right
Yeah.
now. Yeah,
Do you guys get
we've been on bottled water for 3 days.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
At least you
Yeah.
guys are cognizant of it and taking a positive step in the right direction. Do you
Yeah.
guys get first dibs? Do you get to like, oh, there it is right there on the line. That's mine. I'll grab it.
Sometimes our packages will come down, but by the time we get to the center, they're already in the trucks that deliver our area. So usually we'll ask the girls in the office, like, hey, where's my box? They're like, oh, it's in this truck and this number. And so we just go find it, and it's easier for the driver. One
Yeah, it
less
helps them
stop.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're smart enough.
Yeah.
We did it the other day, and I told them, I even gave him like the empty packaging, and it's like, okay, I got my package. And he sat in front of our house for like 20 minutes looking for it. Totally
Gosh.
forgot that we took the package. And it
Oh,
was stuck
no.
between like the odometer and the windshield, the empty package. Yeah.
It's awful.
So, as long as they're smart enough, it saves them time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always end every podcast with a poop story. Have you guys ever pooped your pants, or like we touched on the bathroom thing a little bit. not being available all the time. Has there been a situation, doesn't have to be at work, but do you even have like a personal story where maybe you had a close call or thought that
You go ahead.
You go ahead.
You go
Okay,
ahead.
you just like, you no you.
which one do you want? Like the funny one, the sad one. So
Sad.
my route has no bathrooms, like I said. So
Yeah.
I had to go, and so I hauled ass going up to the top of this mountaintop. And I will not gonna mention names because then you'll understand. So I get all the way up, and it's a locked gate, which is fine. And there's some trees, so I go and run with my little biodegradable RV toilet paper, use the bathroom, have a little hole, cover everything up, pull my pants up, turn around, and there's fucking 4 cameras pointing right at me.
Oh no.
So yeah, that's probably one of the best ones. Yeah, I have a bunch, and I've told people many stories because it happens for me, I guess. Yeah, and I just don't have places to go out there, so it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've delivered that area, and same thing. I'm driving down a bumpy road, and I'm like, oh boy. I was like, maybe the coffee's starting to hit now, so you got to stop and you've got to find a bush.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
I
my
get it. That's wonderful. Thank you guys so much for doing the podcast, taking time to do this. You were great. You answered a lot of questions. I hope this helps people in their holiday shopping and all that good stuff. But I'd love to have you guys back on again if you're up for it.
Sure.
yeah,
Thanks
definitely.
for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
great.
That's it for us. Play us out, Shitty Ukulele.